Daily Parsha Insight, page 136 of the Chayenu for Friday, the 6th Aliyah. We talked about plagues 4, 5, 6, and 7. Before plague number 4, which was the horde of wild animals, God said, "I'm going to make a redemptive distinction between my people and your people." The most frightening facet of this plague was that the horde of wild animals attacked as a disorderly mixture rather than species by species. It was like literally lions and tigers and bears. This anarchy and the terror it inspired is similar to what happens when the moral boundaries that keep society intact are breached. It was midah connected midah, right? They didn't have, moral norms. So there's value in questioning the established morals of secular society, but this can only be done when we're firmly grounded in our commitment to the divine values of the Torah. Only when we're clear about what the values are authentically, what values are authentically holy, can we properly evaluate each element to secular society and choose what to co-opt and what to reject. Interesting. When we embrace this essential distinction between holy and unholy values, it's easier for us to enhance our connection with God. She's saying a lot of what was the sin of the Egyptians? They broke down morality in the society. So there was no boundaries. And that's why there was this unbounded horde of animals. So what did we learn? What was the way? God said, I'm doing this to show you the difference between the holy, my people, and your people, the unholy. The holy side, unholy side. So how do we say, how's Torah for us now? How does it make sense? When we look at society, we should always be questioning of societal values, not always rejecting it just because, but our original groundingness has to be in the values of the Torah. The original values of the Torah. And the values of the Torah then help us know what we want to co-opt, what we don't want to co-opt. I think this is a sign we have to do the Jewish Law Symposium, because it's a way to have the base of Torah and contrast with secular laws. There's something very holy about it, I think. I think the Rabbi gives it a thumbs up. My 2 cents.
Valley, talking to you.
I know. I have a different view of that than I think what the typical about view is. I would, in many cases, and this came up yesterday in the Talmud class. In many cases, I would take a more positive view of current law in terms of their vestiges of the old system that are still part of the law, and say that this is really the foundation comes from. Like yesterday, we were talking about Kenyan
acquisition.
There is still a vestige of a Kenyan, the kind of the Kenyan in modern contract law. So many of these concepts that are part of our system.
100%. Again, we're not about rejecting. It's not about rejecting the law. The goal wasn't rejecting. The goal is to have a firm basis of God's law.
Right.
And then you can have the proper glasses. The Rebbe would say, this is a country of kindness. America is unprecedented.
Right.
It doesn't mean everything America throws to you, you have to accept. You have to know who you are, and then you know what to co-opt and what not to co-opt.
More specifically, I think I really would like to study this more than I have, but I think the whole system of Anglo-American jurisprudence, really, a lot of it seems to come from these old.
I'm sure there's books on it. You should look it up.
And it was, don't forget, it was all originally a religious
right
thing. I mean, especially like a court of chancery.
Right.
That's a religious court.
Right.
Who's to sit here and make a judgment? It's got to have
But it doesn't mean it can't be corrupted and co-opted and changed.
Definitely corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, but so on the contrary, that would be a very positive thing. To be able to know the Talmudic, which we're saying is God's law system, and then to be able to deep dive into the way it played out, I think it's something very holy about that.
Amen.
I'm saying. Okay, 170, the mitzvah of the day, 179. Positive mitzvah, we're commanded to investigate and examine the witness's testimony for inflicting punishment and issuing a legal decision. We must be exact as possible in order to avoid making innocent people guilty by reaching a decision based on first impressions and in haste. So you have to really investigate the witnesses properly.